And so thank you for joining us. Okay. Because of my personal journey, and Dina knows a little bit about my personal journey. And not only that, because of my personal journey and the complexities of being a nonprofit professional, I like to bring every year at the beginning of the year and mid-year the Mind, Body, and Soul nonprofit professional self-care series. And today we're focused on Choosing You by my dear friend. It's actually called Choosing You, Mind, Body, Choosing You, Body, Mind, Spirit Approach to Happiness, right? And I just want to share a little bit about me. For those that don't know me, my name is Sabrina Walker Hernandez, and I am the group administrator for this group. And I'm the founder of Supporting World Hope, which is a nonprofit consulting company I started after 25 years in the industry. And I started this group actually from my hospital bed. I was receiving a stem cell transplant because I was diagnosed with not only one cancers, but two cancers. I was diagnosed with lymphoma and multiple myeloma. And pretty much in being a nonprofit professional, the experience that I had and the experience that a lot of you have is you're often stressed out, you're overwhelmed, overworked, and sometimes underpaid. And so, yeah, it's true. Dina, we're underpaid. Yeah. And so when you have those conditions, it oftentimes manifests itself in illness. And I did not listen to my body until it was too late. I was already diagnosed. I was already going through stem cell. I was already going through chemo. And I launched my company because I didn't want anyone else to have this experience. And I am going to tell you very candidly that I was the one rolling my eyes anytime there was a work-life balance or any of those topics were brought up. I would roll my eyes. And although I would roll my eyes, there were little bits and pieces over the 25 years that kind of chipped away. And I tried to pay attention, but I didn't pay attention enough. And so I thought consciously, I need to have this as a part of my group at least twice a year. The beginning in January, and then you know how we are, we're creatures of habit. And then again mid-year to remind us. And so that's why I'm happy to have Miss Dina here. So Dina, I'm not going to introduce you because I want you to be able to tell us a little bit about yourself. Her story is fabulous. I will say this. Dina and I is a very good friend of mine. And we went out one night and I heard her whole life story. She has some very interesting moments in her life, but not only does she have interesting moments in her life, she is very spiritual, and she understands that connection that we need to make in order to become happy, and she understands the importance of that. But before we get started, I know I said Dina, but before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that if you can click the heart or the like button, just to make sure you can hear us, and not only to make sure that you can hear us, but it's also going to help us with those Facebook algorithms. It's going to keep this at the top. This is a very important topic, and so we want to keep it at the top. We want you to ask questions, and I'm just happy that I'm able to bring this to people. So thank you for joining us. And as you join us, you know, I always like to call out people that show up. So put your hearts, your likes, and all that. I already see a comment. So Dina, I'm going to hit this comment button and see what's going on here. We got Mika in here, and she's saying hi. So we got some crowds coming in. This is good. So with no further ado, Dina, tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Sure. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Sabrina, thank you so much for having me on. Like, it is my passion and part of my purpose to literally help people activate their joy and realize what a blessing it is to be alive, to be human. We could have been cockroaches, y'all. Don't want to be a cockroach. But a little bit about me. Sabrina does know my entire, I think she's the only person here in the Valley who knows my entire life story, because I literally shared everything. But I'll give you just the basics. Otherwise, we'll be here till tomorrow. I was born in the Philippines, raised in Hong Kong, lived in LA, New York, San Francisco, Dubai, and I've been in the Valley for the past 6 years now, and I'm loving it. Um, I grew up in a very spiritual household. It wasn't, I'm Indian by ethnicity. Let me throw that in there. I grew up in a very spiritual household, though we were Hindu by religion. My dad was a very self-actualized man and had a spiritual guru that he followed. And what I grew up with was a connection to the creator of all that is, a formless creator that we were all part of, and understanding that we need to love and respect one another no matter what we looked like, what we ate, how our hair was, what our clothes was. And that's what I grew up with. So it was innate in my personality, and it was like a real surprise that people didn't know this stuff growing up. I went through high school, went through university, got my degree in communications. And then, you're like out in the corporate world, like, okay, what do I do now? And it was getting the jobs, because that's how we're trained, right? Get a job because you have to pay your bills, and it's like anything. And so I had several jobs. I literally lived across the world because I had these job opportunities that I went and just followed and said, oh, okay, regional director of a B2B gem business. Sure. And, being in those jobs, something wasn't fulfilled, right? I was paying bills, barely, but there was something that was left yearning. And I grew up with different circumstances. I lost my father on his 60th birthday. July 18th will be 21 years ago. So I was 27 years old. I grew up with a major health concern that was like physical, and that you could see. I had head to toe psoriasis since the age of 14. And that really puts you into a situation. You could go either way. You could be super depressed, super unhappy about life, super miserable. I mean, I met people older than me that were just, it's really debilitating. Or you could say, F it, I've got this, and you got to move on. And luckily for me, with the grace of having a connection to the creator, having the father I had, I was able to just do Dina the happy chick and go forward. My last corporate job was in Dubai. I was the regional marketing manager for a leading fashion retailer. I had like $1 million advertising budget. I was doing above the line and below the line advertising. But I was sitting there going, there is something that is not clicking. You work so hard, you have nothing to show for it by the end of the days. I barely saw the sun. I would work weekends because we had events on weekends, and I was miserable. And I was like, I'm not contributing in any way and making any sort of impact to my world. And so quit that, got into network marketing, which I think is brilliant. It's a great business model, though I just didn't find the right company to be a part of. Rewind a little bit. I did my first healing course at the age of 15, talking about channeling energy and using energy that goes through you. It was a Japanese healing art called Mahikari, and you learned this Japanese prayer, and you knelt down in front of someone, and you would send them energy through the palms of your hand into their third eye. And so spirituality, energy healing, crystals, psychics, all of this was a part of me growing up. It wasn't woo-woo. It wasn't strange. It was just natural.
For me, it's woo-woo. I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh, I'm sure. For a lot of people, it is woo-woo. But if you break it down, it's quantum physics.
Mhm.
I went through and did a lot of different healing modalities, Reiki, and I'm certified in theta healing. Theta, the brain state, when your brain is in sort of this deep consciousness, your brain slows down to 4 to 7
Mhm.
megahertz. And it was founded by a woman who was a lady scientist. She was really interested in the science of it too, because it seemed woo woo, but there's documented cases of her healing her bone cancer and connecting to the creator. So it takes both of the things I love. There's the spirituality aspect, believing something greater than you, and the science of it, because you are, and it was tested. They had all these EKG machines connected to the brain and saw the brain waves, and how a practitioner would go into theta and the client automatically would feel the same as well. And understanding that we are all energy. We respond to magnetism. Our earth, the center of our earth is iron, and we have magnetic fields. And if you break us down, we are all just energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your chair, your table, your laptop, everything is vibrating at a different frequency. But if you go down to the nanoparticles, it's all just space. 90% of it is space, right? Not even matter. And then everything is connected that way. And when you understand that, then it's not as woo woo. I am energy. You are energy. We're connected to energy. And we can tap into that energy and do things.
Okay, so is that what it means about the mind, body, and spirit connection? Is that
So,
what that
mind,
is?
body, and spirit is understanding that yes, we have different levels of we have the physical body, we also have an emotional body, we have a spiritual body, we have, people talk about auras, this light around you, and they can be different colors. And you can actually, when I first went into my theta healing class and they're like, okay, scan this person's throat and see what you see, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not psychic. But as you get out of your own way and you connect to the energy of all that is, we are extremely intuitive beings. And anyone can learn how to do that. So I was looking across at this woman. I'm like, I kind of see some blue and it feels a little stuck. I'm like, I felt like I was pulling things out of different orifices, to be honest with trying to be polite.
Right.
But the more I connected, the more I did these things, I was like, oh, I can actually see, sense, hear things. And that's what I use with my clients now. And it blows me away every single time when I'm able to tell them something that no one would know. And they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, I asked, I asked the creator to show me what I need to see. And I'm either told something or I see things.
Okay. And so how does that mind, what is the importance of the mind, body, and spirit for individual wellness?
Yeah, so we have to understand that we're not separate, right? You can't only go to the gym and work on your body, because you have 30-year-old marathon runners who outside fit, trim, they're running
Mhm.
every day, and then they drop dead with a heart attack because they're probably under tons of stress, tons of like just issues going on in their house, and they're ignoring those things by focusing everything into your body. That doesn't work. If you're a mind person and you're like thinking in your head all the time and you're like, oh yeah, I'm meditating and everything's okay, but your life is falling around, you're eating chingos of processed foods, and you're not taking care of the temple, your vehicle, whatever you want to call it. And if you're just doing that solely, that doesn't work. And the spirit is understanding that we are connected to a greater energy, a source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, greater consciousness. I use the term creator of all that is, right? But to me, it's not a form, it's the energy. And so when we want to talk about well being, you want to incorporate all of them. You very easy for us to go off at the Himalayas and sit there hours of our day because you don't have everyday life distractions. But that's not realistic. We live in this chaotic world. We are here to fulfill our dharma, which is our roles that we were given in a life. And understand the fact that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. I'll say that again. We are spiritual beings having this human experience. And so, understanding that you don't have to try to be spiritual, you don't have to do anything to be, you are human beings, not human doings. Most of the time, we're caught up in the doing of life that we forget simply to be. And so, when you incorporate body, mind, and spirit into your approach to happiness, to well-being, to life, it shifts everything for you. And it makes incredible changes in the way you relate to life.
And so how do you nurture? Okay, I get it. How do you nurture your body? You go to the gym, you fit. But how do you nurture your mind and your spirit?
So you've heard the word diet, right? We talk about a diet and everyone goes to food, the foods that we eat. But your diet is not only about the foods that you are ingesting, it's about what you are surrounding yourself with and whom you are surrounding yourself with. I'm sure in a lot of leadership trainings growing up, you've heard you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And, I used to be like, whatever, but it's the truth, right? So who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you consuming? What are you reading? Are you watching the news 24/7? Are you watching CSI on binge repeat? What are you feeding into your body, mind, and spirit? That's what makes the difference, right? So yes, you can nurture your body. Gym is one way, but just going out on walks, by giving yourself 5 minutes of just you time. Movement. It's not about like I have to go and get toned and fit and it's about moving your body. We are living in such sedentary times right now. We're sitting on our computers. The pandemic forced everyone to work from home, and sitting is the new smoking.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just sat there. We're not moving our bodies. We're not creating proper flow. So it's setting reminders on our phone. Hey, Siri, remind me to get up, smile, and shake that ass. Why shake that ass? You want movement. If you're smiling, just doing this for 30 seconds, you're telling your brain, even if you're faking it, to release some happy hormones. Awesome sauce. Your dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, right? So you're releasing happy hormones that are making your body like, oh, okay. Just smiling. And then when you're shaking, you're moving your body. And if you're sitting down and you're going through like, oh my God, this is so hard, this sucks, and you're going through that spiral, we've all been there, right? Where we're just sitting there and you're spiraling, but down into the negative and you don't know how to stop it. By standing up, you're creating what's known as a pattern interrupt. And when you interrupt the pattern, your brain creates a scotoma. What's a scotoma? It's just that blank spot. And when you have that blank spot, it's up to you to feed it with something positive, right? So if you're like, oh, I suck at this, I'm no good at this, I don't know why I can't do this, I can't figure this shiz out. Just either you stand up or you use the stop technique. What's the stop technique? Stop. S, stop. Stop what you're doing. Just stop. T, take a deep breath. O, observe what's around you. Okay, I am here. I am safe. I am grounded. Everything's okay in my world. You can just put your feet down on the floor, squeeze your fingers, shake your body, and then P is proceed, right? You can do this mentally. Hit the delete. I tell my clients all the time when they come to me, we're creatures of habit. Even though I've created new neural pathways for you, we default to our habits. And so when you start going down to, oh my God, I can't do this, or I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, stop. Hit the mental delete button in the sky, boom, delete, and then replace it with a thought that's more in alignment. These are simple, simple. The thing is, we want complicated. We're so used to complicating life when life is really simple. But it's so easy to complicate it. Like people go, well, I've heard of those things, and those are like really simple. They want like rocket science, Einstein, E equals MC squared, and it's not. Happiness is a habit. It is a choice that you need to make on a daily basis, moment to moment. You get to choose. And the more you create those choices, the more then it becomes a habit for you. And then once it's a habit, it goes into autopilot, into your subconscious, and then you're defaulted to joy and happiness. And it's as simple as that.
You make it sound very simple.
Okay. It's simple. It might not be easy because as human beings, we have the default to negativity. We are in flight and fright mode, right?
Okay.
And it worked for caveman times. Oh my God, saber-toothed tiger. Okay, I'm on the defense all the time. And now we don't need to be on the defense all the time. Yet most people are suffering from adrenaline fatigue. They're suffering from stress. Stress is the number one killer on the planet.
Yes, it is. That's the stress manifested itself into cancer for me.
Right. And see, our emotions, energy in motion, emotion, whatever's in motion, energy in motion creates physical dis-ease if we're not paying attention to them. And each body part, each dis-ease in our body is linked to beliefs, is linked to emotions that we are just holding in our subconscious mind, not dealing with trauma, drama, abuse, whatever it might be. And abuse could be when a baby has gone to the doctor and received a shot in their mother's arm and it hurt, they could register that as abuse. Their mother was there and didn't keep them safe. Then, the mom let the baby get hurt. And that could register as abuse. Like, we don't realize all these little things that we don't deal with become bigger things and then manifest into dis-ease, manifest into stress. Like, stress creates this cortisol that's constantly running in our body. That's like a hormone. Cortisol, stress hormone, constantly, right? Creates heart disease, creates cancers, creates all sorts of things. And then guess what cortisol does too? It lowers your immune system. We are coming out of a pandemic or doing this with the pandemic, right? And if you're constantly in stress, your immune is shot, you're more likely to
get sick. Yep. Bottom line. And
simple, so not easy.
Simple, not easy. And so this group is a group of nonprofit professionals. Like I said, a lot of them are startups, or even in the nonprofit world, we embrace this mindset of scarcity. And so when you embrace that, we can talk about the mindset of scarcity. You please share what your feelings around that. But when you do embrace that mindset of scarcity and never having enough, well, I'm so busy all the time. I'm this. How do you put yourself first and happiness first? How do you operate in that realm?
You have to make choices and understand what is important to you, right? When you say, oh, I'm so busy, we wear this badge of busy thinking it's like we're cool. Like, I'm so busy, I can't do that. I'm so busy, I can't do that. Oh, no, well, I can't meet you for lunch because I'm busy. Like, okay, Miss or Mr. President of the, world. You're busy. But honestly, try replacing busy with I don't have time for that, or I don't want to do that. Your child comes up to you, I'm busy. I don't want to do that, and see what that feels like. Right? It's like we live in a society that has created this concept of busy being a good thing, of working hard and hustle mentality. I hate the word hustle. It doesn't make me feel good. Like you have to hustle. And then for women, you're competing, and have to do everything 3 times harder than a man in this world to get paid 3 times less than a man. Yeah. It's still like, I think 76 cents to $1 out there in the pay scale. And then we're told, go to school, get good grades. Get good grades so you can get into a good college. Get into a good college so you can get a good job so that you can work for corporate America till you're 60 and retire, dead broke and unhappy.
Pretty much.
Right? And that was just, you had our parents' generation, retiring with a gold watch. And then in retirement, dropping dead after 4 or 5 years because they had no purpose in life and didn't know what to do with themselves, because we're so culturally entrained with these limiting beliefs, with these ideas of what success is. Who died and made, society God to tell me what my definition of success is? So these are the things we need to, there's no new learning we need to do. We need to unpeel the layers of conditioning, of programming, of cultural and ancestral beliefs, limiting beliefs that have been piled onto us, and remember who we are before the world told us who we were supposed to be. Most of us are operating on autopilot. Get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, go get your coffee, get in the car, get to work. And you're like, oh, I'm here already, because you take the same route and it's the same routine and you're not stimulating your brain in any way. And you're living by default. And that's what happens to the most of us. We live by default instead of living by choice. You may not have the choice of what's in your environment or what you're surrounded with, right? You may not have that, but you always have the choice of what to think. You can either react to things or you can respond to things. You have the choice. I can choose to take this personally. I can choose to be miserable. I can choose to say the world is against me, government's against me, society's against me, my mother's against me, blah, 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 blah. Or you can say, you know what? No, thank you. I'm taking back the remote control of my life, and I get to choose. Happiness, we put on other people. We put on our spouses. We put on our children. We put on our jobs. No one, underline, highlighted, bold, no one is responsible for your happiness or your unhappiness except you. I'm going to repeat that.
Yes.
No one is responsible for your happiness or unhappiness except you. You get to choose. You get to say, I'm taking this remote control back. It's mine. I get to push my own buttons. We live in a world where, he's pushing my buttons. Well, take the remote control back. No one is responsible for your happiness. So how do we then put this into our daily life? By making choices. Like I said, happiness is a decision. It's a choice we need to make because we're defaulted to the negative and we have to flip that switch. We have to flip the switch so that we have the default to joy. Life is going to happen for all of us. Poop is going to happen for all of us. Life is never amazing.
Yep.
We do this, right? We have the valleys and the dips and the valleys and the peaks and the
The
valleys
trials
and
and the tribulations.
the
That's what the
trials and the
Bible says. If you're biblical, it's trials and tribulations. It's guaranteed.
everybody. And what might be a mountain to someone might be a molehill for you, and vice versa. But that doesn't make it any less relevant for the person facing it. But if you're able to go through life in an even keel, like on your boat on the waves, and just flow, it makes life so much easier. Again, not easy. It makes life more simple.
So can I ask you a question around, okay, so let's say you're in this nonprofit world, and I say this because this is who we are, and we're giving and we're giving and we're giving. At what point do we, I can tell you there's some guilt in choosing happiness, because I will say for me, we feel like I'm disappointing someone. If I'm running an organization and my clients are kids, I feel like I'm disappointing the kids, or I'm disappointing my board, or this is the nonprofit that I chose to work in, and I'm here to save the world. What? How do you? How do you navigate choosing
You.
happy? Yeah, choosing you and choosing happiness.
Yeah. And we've been brought up in a society that teaches us that to give is noble and that it's okay. And then again, I'll bring it back to women, the selflessness, and you give to your kids. But the first thing you said is we give and we give and we give. What are you giving from? So suppose you have a bank account of $1 million and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving. What keeps happening? It keeps going lower, right? And then you're giving and you're giving, and then you go into debt. You go into debt, and then you're giving, and then you're starting to resent. A lot of people in the nonprofit world are burnt out, are
True.
frazzled, and have a lot of resentment because they keep giving and people keep taking. I mean, if you give, people are going to take, right?
Yeah. True.
But if you're giving from empty, what are you truly giving? Are you giving the best of yourself? What is your number one purpose on this planet? Is to be you, is to be authentically and the truest and highest expression of you. That really is it. And to be the best version of you, you need to be full, not even just full, but overflowing, so you can give from the overflow, and then it's not going from you. So you have to create a connection to something greater than you. It doesn't have to be anything religious, but if it is religion, God, great. But a lot of people then take religion and then use religion as, oh no, but I was told to do this, and this is a sin, and this is not good, and give to, turn the other cheek, and all these things that again create all this guilt. The word you use, guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's understanding that if you cannot give to yourself first, you are not truly giving to others at your best capacity. We want to nurture ourselves. We're not saying I'm not doing this, or screw you, or I don't care. Most of the people working in nonprofit worlds are the term light workers. They're here because they want to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, you can't save the world. It is not your responsibility to save the world. It is your responsibility to take care of you, where you turn up the dial on your personal magnetism and energy, so that that light within you is shining so dang bright that you're making impact to those around you simply by being. And then you get to choose. Like, this cause is really strong to my heart. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. But how is it serving if you are bare knuckled, giving to work, giving to your family, and you have nothing left for yourself? how are you serving anything? You were given this gift of life. It's a gift. And then we're told it's selfish, right? Oh, don't be selfish. And then we have this guilt, but it's selfless. You will be a better human, a better mother, a better father, a better employee, a better employer if you are on a full tank and have extra. You go on a plane. What do they tell you? They tell you buckle your seatbelt. They tell you this is where the emergency exits are. Then they tell you in case of turbulence, an oxygen mask is going to drop from the ceiling. Make sure you put the dang mask on yourself first.
They say it every time.
Anyone else. Why? Because then you're able to serve better. If that person passes out, you still have the capacity to help them because you are taking care of you. And taking care of you is not, people say, Dina, well, I can't go off for a 2-week vacation. And that little things. How you start your day with intention and saying, I am choosing to have a happy, blessed day. I am choosing, and you don't have to even spend, people have these 5 a.m. morning routines and they get up and go to the gym and then they do 1 hour meditation and they make a healthy meal and then they drink the...
That's stressful.
Not everyone got time for that. Be great. I like my sleep. But you know what works? When you are getting up and you're in that state between sleep and awake and you sort of snooze your alarm a couple of times, I sort of sit up in my bed, eyes still closed, going, oh, okay. And then I just set my attention. I say, thank you, Creator, for this beautiful day. I am choosing to have an amazing day. I'm sending loving energy out into my world. You can put your children, your spouses, your people, if you're having an interview, send love and compassion to those. And then you are setting that intention. So if you go somewhere and someone's nasty to you or not good, you don't take it personally. You say, you know what? God bless you. You might have had a rough day. I set the intention to have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
They've done scientific studies that a person that's in heart coherence, people thought our brain had the most magnetic energy. It's not, it's our heart. And one person trained radiating in love, compassion, and joy on the frequency scale can affect about 70,000 people around them. So why not choose to be one of those people that are filling your cup, doing things, taking the 5 minutes to breathe. I tell people set non-negotiables. If you have a full calendar, set an hour, maybe 2 times a week. That's me time. That's me time for you. That's me time for your children. That's me time for your spouse, where everyone gets to do whatever the heck they want. You want to take a nap. You want to take a bubble bath. You want to go for a walk. Whatever you want to do, and no one gets to interrupt anyone unless the house is burning down.
Right.
You set non-negotiables, work, family life balance. You get to choose. People don't realize a job will replace you.
Like that.
Like that. And yet your blood, sweat, tears. I need to finish this project. I'm going to put in 40 hours days for. Do what you do with the best of your capacity and then know when it's time to say, okay. Sure, if there's a deadline, if you're working on a big project, there are times where we put in all of our effort, right? But if we get to space that out, then we're better individuals. Employees and people who work that are acknowledged, appreciated, and just validated. Hey, you did a good job. High five. I see you. An email going out, a $20 gift card to Amazon, are happier, more loyal, more productive, and stay longer in these companies than someone who's saying it's just the money and it's just the raise. I know people who love their companies because of those things. They're valued. Their employers see them as human beings. Like, oh, you've got something to do with your child, go get it done as long as you get your work done.
Right.
You need to work from home today because, someone's sick. Yeah, we trust you. We know you, but if you're not allowed to do these things, It serves no one. So being selfless to yourself is crucial, and it takes creating new habits, and that's every single day. I get to choose. Should I be miserable about that? Is it about me? No. Most of the things are not personal. We come from our own belief stories, our own perspectives, our own stories, what we create about something. A lot of people assume a lot of crap, and then if someone comes and like does emotional vomit all over you, oh, thank you very much, I'm going to take this with me. Oh, what a beautiful present. Then we take it away. Something smells. Then we go home, put it on our pillow. Oh, something smells. We lose sleep at night. That person's puked out, feels better, sleeping soundly. Yet you've taken that and made it personal.
Yep. They probably, that's like you said, they're sleeping very peacefully and you're losing sleep and because
For
you've taken it
what?
personally.
Right. There's a great book. It's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I think it's mandatory reading for anyone on this planet. And one of the agreements is not to take things personally, not to assume things, always do your best. And then I forget the fourth one. But when you apply these simple principles to your life, like I used to always take what my mother said really personally. But when I understood it was about her issues, her loneliness, her stories and beliefs, and how she was scarcity, growing
Mm-hmm.
up in that scarcity mindset, I stopped taking it personally. Even if she used my name and said really not nice things, I would have to just, it's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine, and let it flow. And that is what created a better relationship. And then, do the work. People spend money on the gym. People will spend money on supplements. People will spend money on clothes and handbags because that's temporary happiness, right? We go shop, we
Mm-hmm.
buy something. I mean, I do that.
Yeah.
I
Retail therapy.
right?
Yeah.
Retail therapy. But when you tell them to go do soul work, clear the crap that's within, they bulk. They're like, oh, I don't want to spend money on that. That's
Mm-hmm.
not important. Mental health, it's like such a taboo, but it's crucial. And we're seeing it all around us. And so it is your moral obligation to take care of yourself first. Moral obligation to watch your diet, what you're feeding your body, what you're feeding your mind, who you're hanging around with, your energy, to create boundaries and stop people pleasing like we were taught to do. Okay, sure, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, I'll come to your event. Oh, yeah. And then suddenly you're miserable. People ask me all the time, Dina, you're everywhere. You're doing everything. I go, yeah, because I don't have children. I don't have a 9 to 5 day job. So I get to do this. And right now it's fun for me.
Right.
If it wasn't fun, I won't do it. If it didn't make me feel good, I have now no, sorry, I don't want to do that. And it's okay. People won't die. And if they don't like you, oh well. Because the only person that needs to like you is you. And I know it's not easy, but it's worth it, right? Doing the work, body, mind, and spirit, stopping yourself when you're spiraling, breathing. We forget to breathe. Self-care is when you're working, setting that alarm to take 5 deep breaths. Doing that 5 times just resets you. They're simple things. Energy, we have acupressure points in our hands, especially our fingertips. So if you're stressed, you're at a meeting, no one knows what you're doing, squeeze each finger. Each finger is related to stress, anxiety, depression. Just squeeze each of them. Like really squeeze them for about 30 seconds. Like if I'm sitting here talking to you and I was doing this, no one knew what I was doing. Self-care. There are simple things to do, but we think they're too simple. And so we don't do them. Gratitude is a huge happiness hack. Connecting to people. you know what, I'm feeling kind of blue. Let me just reach out to someone and just tell them what I like about them, or that I'm grateful for them. We do that a lot. I also am still part of a network marketing company. I do pure therapeutic ketones, and part of the company culture, anytime we start a call, first thing we do is send a note of gratitude to someone to just start with great energy. I'm so blessed to be a part of this organization because of the training, of the personal development, of understanding that you can be in service to others without killing yourself. And that's what we all need as nonprofit
Mhm.
individuals, is being of service, but understanding that the biggest service you need to be in is of yourself. And so it's just switching that mindset. It's switching that mindset. It's doing personal development. It's going and seeking help if you've got deep, trauma or some stuff that's really bringing you down, because then you're not really giving from a level of where you could be.
Mhm. You
Sorry, I
said
totally
something.
did
No,
that.
you're good. You said something because I am about a lot of people in this space is about fundraising and all those things. But you just said something to me that I'm like, oh yeah, that could help with fundraising. And so picking up the phone and telling someone the impact or showing that gratitude with someone to someone before you're going to do something that may make you feel anxious, like that may make you feel like, oh, I have to call this person and ask them to invest in my organization. Imagine the you get endorphins that you would have by talking to someone. The calls that I get that make me happy, or the emails that I get that make me happy, is when someone emails me and they say, that was, your words really impacted me. Or, I'm so grateful that you have this group, or, things like that. So imagine just picking up the phone and calling someone and saying how grateful you are for them, and the energy that they're going to send back to you. It is going to increase your endorphins to allow you to maybe make the next call, which might be challenging. Am I reading it too simple?
No, and that's exactly it. Like when I say start that intention and you give out love and compassion, if you're speaking at an engagement, before getting on stage, just connect with the people from your heart. Have the attitude of service that I am here to share with you, right? When you're making a call, it was sales 101. They hear the smile on your face.
True.
It's energy. We are energetic beings. Energy speaks before we even walk into that room. How many times has someone walked into your room and you're just like, whoosh?
Some people
Wow,
can
who is
suck
that
the
person?
energy out, and some people can bring the energy
Right.
in.
So you want to be the person when you enter the room, everyone goes, yay. Not when you leave the room, everyone goes, thank goodness, right? Energy speaks. You have deadlines to meet. It's fine. You focus on things. But if we get to plan our days more, put in our non-negotiables, who knows did I share the golf ball story?
No, you didn't share the golf ball story. Share the
Okay.
golf ball story,
Okay.
and then I have some comments that I want to read that people are sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really powerful. A professor was in his lecture hall, and he had a bunch of his students. He had a mason jar, he had some golf balls, he had some pebbles, and he had some sand. And he told everyone, fill the mason jar with everything. So the students were like, okay, let me put the sand in, right? So they're like, the smallest thing, let me put the sand in. Then I'm going to put the pebbles, and they put the golf balls. And some tried it the other way, and it wasn't fitting. They said, can't do this. And the professor said, let me show you. He took the golf balls, the biggest things, and put them in first. Then he took the pebbles that were like the medium size. Then he put them in and he shook, made space. Everything sort of fit in the crevices. Then he poured in the sand, shook, poured in more sand, and everything fit. And how does that relate to life? Put the golf balls, your most important things. What are your values? What are your priorities? What is important to you? We walk around not knowing what our own values are, what's important to us, right? So take those golf balls, my family, I'm getting my university degree. So that's really important to me. This is important to me. This is important. These are my main things. And you schedule them. We all live by our phones. We all have Google calendars. Schedule them in. Make family dinner night on a Thursday night a non-negotiable. So that that day, doesn't matter what invitation you get, doesn't matter. Occasionally there might be something that, you pick a day that is not, you've got events going on or you're part of a group and they meet on that day, obviously, right? Schedule that in. Ball games, children stuff, schedule that in. And then you get to say no to things that are in conflict. Because sure, would it be nice if you went there? Sure. But you having your boundary, taking care of what's important to you, putting your golf ball in, makes you a better human being. You're happier, and that happiness is shared. So then you put the pebbles. Okay, what is the work stuff? What are the deadlines? What's coming up? Let's put those things in, shake it around, make it fit. And then the sand is like the invitation from a coworker. It's the event that you should go to, could go to. Like, stop shooting all over yourself. We should all over ourselves all the time. I should do this. Oh, but and we just stay up in here, in this mental space. I should go here. I should do this.
Yep.
Right? What do you want to do? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you go, ooh, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Great, go. Ugh, no, those people, I don't want to go. Like, you go and you're miserable and you're just like, eh. And then you come home and you're like, why did I even waste my time? Why did I waste the gas? Don't do it. People won't die. People move on. They might be upset at you for a moment. But if you say, hey, Thursday nights at 5, family nights, I don't change it for anyone, you'll earn more respect. They're like, wow. Nonprofit professionals are givers. Give from the overflow. Give when you are in a space of you get to choose, right? You get to choose. You make choices. You make choices. What's important to you? We can't, I haven't watched the news in over almost 3.5 decades. There's nothing new on it. There's nothing I can do to solve the world's crises that they want to continually bombard me with. I haven't read the newspaper. People are like, oh, but don't. I go, whatever I need to know. I'll scroll on Facebook. I love social media. I scroll. Oh, okay. Oh, that happened. Like, someone came up to me and, oh, did you know those 2 guys were acquitted? I'm like, what guys? And they looked at me like I lived under a rock. I'm happy living under a rock because as the joy activator, my only purpose, and I finally, after a lot of crap, imposter syndrome, who am I to think this is who I am? Who am I to be a bright light? Who am I? Who am I? Said, F it. And I said, I am a light. My only purpose on this planet is to be a lighthouse of joy because I know, and this comes from no space of ego, but I know when I walk into the room, the energy shifts.
And it does.
And I know that's my purpose. I don't have to do anything, say anything, but me being in a state of joy or happiness or good vibes, my vibes percolate in that room. They do. And so I claim the purpose. No one had to tell me what my purpose was. I get to choose. You get to choose your purpose, and it gets to change. And you get to try on different things for size. We forget to play. We become grown-ups, and I did laughter. I do laughter. I call it laughter size, like laughter yoga. I was hired by the city of Edinburgh to do little 30-minute segments during their employees' annual training of public policy, ethics, sexual harassment, all the boring stuff. And here I am in a room of grown-ups, firemen, policemen, city employees, blah, blah, blah. And, I'm here like, okay, and now we're going to be silly and we're going to laugh for no reason. I literally had people like looking at me like this is a bunch of BS and I'm not going to. And those are the people who need it the most because we think it's silly. You're being childish. And there's a difference between being childlike and childish. When we allow our inner child to play, when we move our body, put on one song and just dance to it, that's more valuable than going to the gym and feeling miserable because you feel fat and ugly and you need to work out because I need to do this and I need to eat healthy, otherwise I'm going to get cancer. And that's how you get all the crap, because you're always in this default of negativity and fear.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of fear? Faith and love, joy. When you are in the present moment, you get to choose. You are aware of what you're thinking. If you're aware of what you're thinking, you get to shift it if it doesn't feel good. But most of us live in autopilot. Either we're worrying about the past or anxiety about the future, and we're never present in this time and day. And secret is being present. It's the biggest secret.
Wow. What a segue into what we're going to be talking about next week with Miss Irma. And she's going to be talking about mindfulness and being present. Girl, you are good. I always love it when Dina comes on. We're right at the end, Dina, and talk about gratitude. I want to express my gratitude and I want to share with the comments that are being made. And so Mika is saying definitely spiritual beings having a human experience. And then Rocio has a question I would love for you to answer. She goes, how does this look in a world of deadlines? You are already answering this, but can you just refresh it, because we do live in the world of deadlines.
Yeah.
But let me give some couple of more comments.
Sure.
Miss D said, I get it. Talking to yourself to create a positive environment. And when also that sounds, they're reaffirming what you said. So how do you create this in a world of deadlines? And then if you can go over the stop again, that what does the S
Absolutely.
stand for?
So in a world of deadlines, you're frozen. Oh, there you're back.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. So in a world of deadlines, why do we have deadlines, right? Because we tend to procrastinate and leave everything to the last minute. Nonprofits are notorious for that. But we do event after event after event, and they're annual events. If we just take the time to create little folders of breakdown of the events, right? Then the next time an event comes, you have timelines created. We have all sorts of people in our boards, in our nonprofits. There are people who love project management. There are people who love putting Excel sheets together. There are people who absolutely abysmally hate them. Me. You put me in front of an audience of 1,000 people, I'll be like, let's go. You tell me to look at an Excel sheet and I want to cry. But we have to utilize everyone's genius zones and then create enough time so that we're not pressed up against deadlines. And occasionally we will be. But then we power through them. See, what a lot of people do is not delegate. Nonprofit boards, there's the same 5 people over and over and over again.
For the same work. Yeah.
They're on the board for the thing on their resume, the status. But when we're able to delegate and say, you do this, and like get that commitment, and sometimes it doesn't work and, people drop the balls. But creating that level of bonding in a team is crucial. When you are spending the first 5 minutes of your board meeting appreciating each and every one instead of complaining and criticizing and this went wrong and this went wrong. Hey, you know what, Sabrina, you rocked that event. And I just want to personally give you a shout out because you were incredible. Took me 30 seconds, made you feel good, made me feel good, the energy of the room. And if everyone goes around, just a word of gratitude. They're such simple things. So deadlines is about being better planned, about delegating. And then sometimes you just have to power through them and then remind yourself you get to choose. I've been in those spaces so many times where it's me and someone else and it's the day of and people haven't showed up and we're like, okay, Do it with a smile. Duck underwater. Put a smile on your face so that people don't feel the energy of things going wrong, right? But give yourself time to plan. If you have your schedule out, you put your golf balls in, then you're better equipped to handle that. So that's about deadlines.
Yep.
The stop technique. Stop technique is if you're sitting there and you're going through a negative spiral in your brain, either you just stop and press the mental delete button in your mind. You're aware of yourself. You go, nope, I am not dumb. I am not stupid. I am completely capable. I just don't know what I don't know. And I'm learning it. There's a learning curve. And you go, hey, well done. I caught that. And you praise yourself. We forget to praise and celebrate. And that's crucial. Our brain operates on praise and celebration. When you do that, it goes, oh, I want to do that again. So it'll catch you doing your negative spiral even earlier. And you go, hey, high five, you did it again. And pretty soon you're defaulted into not going into that negative spiral, right? So that's one part of it. Stop stands for stop. So you stop what you're doing. You stop yourself. T is take a deep breath. You might want to take 2 or 3, and you inhale really deeply into your belly, your diaphragm, and you exhale. O is just observe what's around. Okay. You've taken that breath. You've created that mental, break. Okay. I'm here. I'm grounded. I'm safe, especially if you're having a panic or anxiety or, all is well. Let me focus on what needs to be done. Maybe you move away from your desk, whatever it is. P is proceed. Then you just continue on, right? So those are the things. Squeezing your fingers are really good acupressure. No one knows what you're doing.
I'm going to use that one. I didn't know that one.
Squeeze, and it really helps. Smiling. You're on this phone, smile, but if you're having a really bad day and you're in a meeting, even if you have to fake it and people go, what is be silly, act childlike, go swing on the swings, go dance with your kids every day after dinner. They say it's amazing to take a 10-minute walk. How about just playing a song on any device and have a dance party with your children if you have children, if it's your spouse. So if it's by yourself. We need to move our bodies. Our blood and oxygen flow from our heart bumping. We have a pump. Our lymphatic system needs us moving. I'm sitting on a little bouncing ball yoga chair. And so it allows me to keep my posture straight. I can't slump. And I move. A little rebounder. Little things, going outside, getting 5 minutes of sunshine to start your day, setting your intention.
Waking up with a prayer or whatever it is that you say. That's the one thing I have adopted because of you. I wanted to say that because of you. So,
I could speak forever, and this is my passion. This is what I'm out here to do.
But we are out of time. We're actually 3 minutes over. Yes, but it's such a good conversation, and all the comments are great. And Dina, for those that live in the Rio Grande Valley, you're very lucky that Dina is local. But for those that live outside of the Rio Grande Valley, she is available to come to you. She's actually on this trek, and she's looking for speaking engagements. So if you're doing a conference or you need a motivational speaker or anything like that, you can tell that Dina is your girl. So we are over time. We promised you this, Dina. If I give you 1 minute to say your last thing, you only get 1 minute, and then we're gonna sound off here.
Okay. I love you guys. Just remember, you are the most important person on this planet. You are amazing. You are worthy, and you deserve all the goodness life has to give to you. Take that in. This is your only purpose, is to be as authentically you as you possibly can and vibrate from a level of joy. Don't let anyone else steal your sunshine. You get to choose, take the remote control back, and you got this. Follow me at the Joy Activator on Instagram. I have a new website that just launched, www.dinasabnani.com, and I am available to travel nationally, internationally. Speaking is my passion, doing workshops, laughter yoga, anything you need. I'm your girl.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Be blessed. Bye-bye.